Usually, I'm an open book. This video challenged me to decide if I should tell or keep secret something in my personal life. As your mentor, I work hard to be transparent. Earning your trust is important to me because I want to be a positive influence in your life. Bringing the dark parts of our lives into the open is really important because what's hidden can't be healed. When you open yourself up to other people, you can receive forgiveness, freedom from guilt and shame, build intimacy in your most important relationships, and discover for yourself the love and mercy of God. At the same time, it's really important to make a conscious and intentional decision to share. In this video, I'll give you 4 questions to answer before disclosing personal details of your life. Later in the video, you'll discover whether I decided to tell or keep my secret. Recently, I got a text from someone asking if she should share with women at her church that she's recently ended an affair. I know that she's overwhelmed with guilt and shame. She's hurting and she's looking for relief. She hopes that by telling her secret, she'll feel better. Should she share? My first reaction was, "No! Are you crazy?" Thankfully, I stopped myself before texting back. My first instinct was to protect her from embarrassing or alienating herself. Throughout my life, my go-to position has been to hold things inside, keep my mouth shut, and hide guilt or shame. Maybe you were raised, like me, by a mother who warned, "Don't you dare talk about what goes on in this house." Not that there was anything all that awful going on, but my mom didn't know how to teach me to set good boundaries about privacy and confidentiality. So I assumed that if something involves sin, failure, guilt, shame, insecurity, anger, grief, or even money, I should keep it to myself. In every family, there are undiscussables that teach us the unhealthy lesson that hiding things keeps them from becoming real. After hitting a low point in life, overwhelmed by things I had kept secret for years, I finally started talking. And most of the results were positive. But I did learn 4 questions to help make good decisions about disclosing personal details and secrets. And so let's get started with question number 1. What's your goal in telling someone? When you catch yourself replaying the same situation over and over with no relief, it's a signal you've reached the end of your ability to process, cope, and heal with this experience. You need help. Seeking help is different than looking for agreement or being let off the hook. If your goal is to heal and move forward, then telling someone can be a very important step on that journey. Telling someone with the goal to heal is also different than telling to humiliate and punish yourself. Knowing my friend was overwhelmed with shame, I texted back, "How could telling this group of women be another way of punishing yourself?" I urged her not to move forward until she knew what her goal was in letting her secret out. Which leads me to the second question. What do you want from the people you tell? Be clear about it and ask for it. For example, you might say, "I want to tell you something, and all I'm asking for is..." what? Comfort, direction, advice, forgiveness, approval? Even the most loving and mature person can feel unsure or overwhelmed by what they've heard. So help them to receive your secret and support you by letting them know specifically why you're telling them and what you want from them. Now let's move on to question number 3. How will you handle confidentiality? If your secret involves other people, how will you keep their involvement confidential? Although you've decided the time is right to share personal information, never for any reason gossip or out another person. Are the details about another person's involvement relevant? And if they are, don't say anything about them without their permission. Of course, if anyone is potentially harming someone else or themselves, it's important to report it to the proper people. Now let's move on to question number 4. Are you prepared for how others react? I remember as vividly as the day it happened when I shared something private with a work colleague. I'd invited her to lunch because I admired her and I wanted to develop a closer connection. As we were exchanging personal details, she asked me if I had any children. I said no, but blurted out that I'd had an abortion. She looked at me, blinked a few times, and then lifted her menu and buried her head in the menu without saying another word. I changed the subject, and we never spoke about it again. In hindsight, I regret I was impulsive and attempted to trade my dignity in hope for someone's approval. The private details of your life are precious and important, but you can't control the reactions of other people or their willingness or ability to give you what you ask for. That's all the more reason to be conscious and intentional about what you share and with whom. Now, I had a therapist who was helping me a great deal at the time, and it was worth the risk to reach out to her and share my abortion secret. As an aside, I want you to know that I've put several links down below to safe and responsible help with healing from abortion. But beyond the therapist's help, I needed more. As your mentor, you can see that I'm not going to shy away from tough or delicate questions. So if there's a topic you want me to cover, just drop it in the comments below or send me a confidential email. You probably know someone who could benefit from this video, so please share it with them. When you've thoughtfully answered the first 4 questions, answer this next one, which is the most important. Question number 5. What is God telling you about sharing your secret? Sometimes you get stuck in a cycle of condemnation, beating yourself up, unable to forgive yourself, or other people convince you it's too big, or you're too bad, or it's too late. The truth is, Jesus doesn't condemn anyone who wants to receive his love and forgiveness. You don't have to talk to anyone for that, other than directly to Jesus. In fact, Jesus should be the first person you talk to. Pour out your heart and ask him to guide you to people who can help you. Ask him to confirm if, when, and who else you should talk to. I talked to my pastor, and she connected me with other mature believers to help me apply God's promises of healing and hope to my specific situation. With their help, I bought a Bible and a book of daily readings to connect the Word of God to my own life. I've put a link below to some resources that were meaningful to me, as well as the book I've written about my own abortion healing journey. Secrets, failures, mistakes, and sin are tough to talk about and listen to. You can be sure that I shared my experience with abortion only after answering all 5 questions and feeling released to do it. Deciding to tell or keep your secret is a very personal decision. So let me summarize the 5 questions to ask yourself before deciding to tell your secrets. Question number 1, what's your goal in telling someone? Question number 2, what do you want from the people you tell? Question number 3, how will you handle confidentiality? Question 4, are you prepared for how others react? And question number 5, what is God telling you about sharing your secret? Secrets, failures, mistakes, and sin are tough to talk about and to listen to. You can be sure that I shared my experience with abortion only after answering all 5 questions and feeling released to do it. Deciding to tell or keep your secret is a very personal decision. In this video, I explain why choosing to grieve and forgive is an important path on the journey to a good life. Click on it now, and I'll see you next time. I'm your mentor, Jane.